Hey guys, we are live. What is going on out there this afternoon? Hey, it's Brent Abel here, WebTennis.com. Hey, Joe, thanks for joining. I appreciate that. Always good to hear from you. And look, guys, beautiful day here in the California desert. Had a great workout this morning on grass court number 10, which was fine. And yeah, working on some stuff. And just like you, probably pretty a little compulsively, insanely, whatever, passionate about becoming a better player. And look, one of the big mistakes I used to make, I want to talk about today. Hey, Major Dan, Mark, thanks for showing up again. Good to see you. Made a big mistake, and I've talked about this before, but it's really important, just really important. And it mistake I made for a long time. It held me back from becoming a better player. I'm going to dive into that in just a second. Just a couple of quick reminders that number one, every morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, I'm going live. Most of the time, sometimes it's a pre-recorded show, but we're doing What's the Right Shot. I've had What's the Right Shot now for 363 episodes. Took a break in there for about a year and a half a while ago, but we're banging them out every morning. And two things we're working on is where do you want the ball to land over there, and where do you want to move to next on the court to enhance your shot choice. And if you are brand new, welcome. Glad that you found me. I am doing two shows a day. Typically, they're live. Like I just said, What's the Right Shot in the morning? I cherry pick a point from a match, either one of my matches, and we find one point, and we take the video. And right before one of the players plays a shot, I pause the video and ask you, what's the right shot? And I just think it's a great way to be able to teach um, in terms of just not always going heavy into stroke technique, that kind of stuff, and letting you know that sometimes stroke technique's just good enough, right? I mean, I'm not saying that we can't keep getting better. And the way that I think about getting better with stroke technique is actually paring away, getting rid of what is really unnecessary. Tom Stowe, the guy that I worked with, really helped me a lot with this, kind of got in my head, just said, look, that little flare you have up there in the forehand as you get set up, don't need it. Doesn't help you. In fact, it kind of makes you a little bit inconsistent from time to time. So let's get rid of it. And so my thought on stroke technique is less is more, not only because there's less to do, which means that you become a more consistent shot maker. And that's crucial if you are trying to compete, and if whether you're playing tournaments or leagues or just that serious practice match against that one guy once a week, and look, I want to get the W this week, is that the more we overdo stroke technique in terms of, hey, well, if I add more, it'll help me win. It just never worked for me. So that's what I do with What's the Right Shot, and then again in the afternoons, 2:30 this time of day out here, Pacific time zone. We do a little tennis mindset training, right? And this has been the difference maker for me over the last year and a half. Um, I was a good player, pretty good, one of the A- guys in my age group, year in and year out, but really never an A+ guy. Yeah, I have won, or I had won some national titles before the end of 2022, but those were far and few between. Over 40 years, 11 national titles. Not bad. I'm not dissing that. I'm not saying that doesn't mean anything, but have added 9 more in singles and doubles over the last 15 months. And the big difference has been what I've done mentally, the habits that I've, or the skills that I've habituated over that time. And so again, if you're brand new, and if one of the deals is that you play better in practice than you do in the real deal, whether it's a tournament match or a league match or just a serious practice match, I've got something for you I will talk about after we talk about the topic for today. And that is the biggest mental mistake I used to make that held me back. And a lot of players do this. They decide, they make the commitment. You know what? I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to hit all those 5 different pillars. Number 1 is going to be technique, right? Not adding, but actually paring away the unneeded. Number two, I'm going to start working on a tactical focus in terms of what does that guy over there really want me to give them? What is their strength? Let's probe to find out that strength. And then we'll just not give it to them, right? Or maybe there's a weakness that we can really pick on and just give them a steady diet of it. And the weakness might be more than just a shot, right? Maybe they got a weak forehand. Maybe they got a weak backhand, whatever it is. But maybe it's movement, right? Maybe they don't like to move forward and back. Maybe if you threw in a few drop shots now and then, disguised, and you started to move them up and back rather than just trying to compete side to side, moving them from corner to corner. Maybe that's something that would be a good tactical focus. Maybe this guy is so good over there that you're just trying to extend the time of the match, right? You're trying to take as much time as you can between points. You're trying to take as much time within the rules on side changes. And then I'm not saying that you're pushing, but during the points, you're trying to extend the time in the points because you feel like this guy's good, but maybe not in great shape. So rather than trying to challenge him in the beginning of it, where you're trying to outstroke the guy, maybe this guy was a great junior player. Maybe this guy was a great college player. Maybe he played in the tour. But you know what? Since then, he has kind of let himself go. And in the beginning, he might just be better in terms of being able to be a better shot maker than you. So our job there is, well, let's just extend the time. Let's see how long we can keep him out here, right? That's a tactical focus as well. The third thing is fitness. Are you fitter than the guy over there? If you've decided that you really want to take your game to the next level, and for the next level for you might be, here's the top of my skill level, here's the bottom of my skill level. I just want to take the bottom of the skill level up to the top and consistently play at that level. Well, fitness is a big, huge part of that, right? So if you've decided that that's what you're going to do, I'm going to make that commitment. I'm going to become a better tennis player. Let's see how good I can get. Fitness has to be one of those pillars. The fourth thing is mental, which we're talking about today. And I'll get into this one thing that really held me back. So the mental skills have got to be part of your effort to become that kind of player that you want to explore. Let's see how good you can get. And the fifth thing is experiences. Experiences are a combination of a lot of practice sets, learning about just different shot types you hit. Oh, all of a sudden now you know that, well, when I play the ball over there against just about anybody, there's only one or two things that can happen, right? So the more experiences you get under your belt in terms of playing practice sets, playing practice matches, and then playing the tournaments, and then playing the leagues, or whatever it is, so that result that you're about to play or the match is that it's going to be made public somewhere. You need a lot of those experiences. You need to fill up your calendar and that's to me where the learning about who you are as a player and about how you fit in, maybe with your age group or maybe with your skill level. How do you match up with guys at your own age? How do you match up with players from different ages but have the same rating label as you? And now you start to learn more about yourself, start to learn more about them through experiences. So those are really the five pillars that if this is what you're going to do, I am going to get better. I'm going to explore to just see how freaking good I can get as a tennis player. Okay, then those five things have got to be part of it. Here's the mistake I made once I made that commitment to those five things is I decided that I wanted to try to measure how am I doing. Here's my baseline. Once I made the commitment, here's where I am at. Here's how I'm at skill level wise. So I've got a rating label, I've got a number, I've got an NTRP, whatever it is. I want to go to the next level. So how am I doing today? Right? I played great yesterday. Am I going to be able to get a little bit better today? Uh-oh, that didn't happen today. Right? The game is not like that. Just because you have a great day yesterday doesn't mean that you're going to come out today. Different conditions, right? The weather's a little bit different. Maybe it's different time of day, different opponent, different venue, different, like I said, could be different weather, could be different conditions, or they could be the exact same conditions, and yet you just don't have the same thing that you did yesterday. So expectations from day to day for me were just a killer. I would play great yesterday and just come out of the blocks today going, all right, well, the same thing's going to happen. And it didn't happen. I would come out after whatever I did yesterday and try to measure, am I getting better today than I was yesterday? And maybe it wasn't from day to day. Maybe it was from week to week, trying to measure everything. And look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be taking notes, but there's a good way to take notes at the end of the day in terms of a little diary, a little journal, in terms and to me, it was more about process, right? Am I sticking to the process as opposed to the results? And the more with the results that you try to measure from day to day, week to week, month to month, it causes stress. And when you've got stress, we just don't improve. We just don't learn. We don't play as well and we don't play as freely as we can if we just trust this. Trust that, number one, that if you've got the right information, right, in terms of those 5 pillars, all right, I'm taking away stroke technique to be able to get more consistent. Have you got someone who can help you do that? Are you looking at yourself on video and maybe doing less about technique, but maybe pillar number 2, tactics? Or do you have a tactical focus in terms of probing over there what it is that player's really good at and you want to avoid, or what that player maybe you could pick on, right? So it's more about evaluating process than it is about results. And when you evaluate process, at least what I found is then I just said, okay, well, I've got the right information. Is the person who's giving me this information got some credibility? Well, when I was working with Tom Stowe, yeah, I mean, some unbelievable credibility, right? And so then if I believe those 2 things, I've got the right information, I've got the right person helping me. Am I doing the work, right? Am I doing the daily work? I mean, not just like, all right, I've got the right information, I'm seeing Tom Stowe once a week, and then am I going out and just practicing one other day a week? Not doing the work. So you got to be able to have the right info, the right guy. You got to be able to do the right work. I mean, you have to be able to do the work on a daily basis. Could be on the court, could be off the court. But from there, if those 3 things are in place, then to me, I eventually I came to believe that it's inevitable. If I don't fight it, if I don't try to measure it, if I don't try to go, oh my God, am I 1% or 2% better than I was yesterday or last week? And if I had a bad day today compared to yesterday, what's going on? Well, that's the reality of the learning curve, right? There's a book that I'm going to recommend that you go get. It's by George Leonard. And the book is called Mastery, Mastery. It's a thin, small little book written back, I believe, back in the 70s by George Leonard. And it really, really gave me an understanding of what the improvement chart curve looked like. I was hoping it would be this gradual straight line up. It never was. And the reality is that it's up, it's down, it's maybe down more now. Levels off into a plateau for a long time where you feel like nothing is happening. And then all of a sudden, if you keep working, now there's an up, and the average is over the course of time, and you keep getting better and better and better, but it's not a gradual straight line up. So here's the deal. You've got the right information. You've got the right credibility with the person that's trying to help you. You're doing the daily work. And now if you just flat out trust in delayed gratification, that if you do all that stuff and you keep working like a dog and you don't try to measure it, don't try to make the result you want, don't try to force it, but let it come on its own. I just think it's going to happen. And for me, once I gave up that trying to force feed the result that I wanted and just trusted in delayed gratification, my game changed, just totally changed. Not only in terms of becoming a better player, but I also find that in matches, especially close matches, that if I didn't force the outcome, that if I, and this happened last year so many times, I don't know, lots of matches. And I played a ton of tournaments last year. I think I played 14 different events, literally around the world, played a couple of them in Spain and in a lot of them in the United States. There were lots of matches where I had to trust that if I just keep working, right? If I don't try to if I don't, it's a close match, or maybe I've lost the first set, or maybe I'm down a break. If I don't force the outcome and just trust in delayed gratification, then I'll find a way. I'm not sure how it's going to present itself, but it's going to show up if I don't fight it. And I think the same thing for you is, don't make the same mistake that I did. And I think if you are making this mistake, which is you're trying to measure everything you're doing, look, if you're trying to drop some weight and look, it's the same thing we kind of get on the scales every day. Oh boy, have I lost a pound? That's a way to kind of measure it, but I think there's too much stress involved in that. And what happens if you felt like, God, I really worked hard today. I really had a lot of cardio. I really did a lot of this. I really ate right today. And then you go on the scale tomorrow and wait a minute, what, I haven't lost a pound. I'm a pound heavier than I was yesterday. It's going to drive you crazy. You've just got to believe, if you keep doing the right stuff in terms of the right exercise, getting the kitchen right, that if that's what you're trying to do, is drop some pounds, trying to shed some weight, over time, it's going to take care of itself. And you just have to believe it and trust that that's going to happen. So there's lots of different examples, I think, where we do that, where we try to force the result before it's time. And so, look, there you have it. I know the message that I gave you today maybe is not that earth shattering in terms of you got to believe in delayed gratification, but it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And for me, I had to actually habituate it. I had to recognize those times when I was maybe getting frustrated in practice, kind of going, God dang it, I had this going yesterday, but today I don't. Or those times in matches where, gosh darn it, I'm trying to force the result that I want. And I just had to recognize when those things were happening. And then once I did, I just got back into, wait a minute, I got the right information. I got the right resource, the person who gave me the right information. Am I working like a dog? I am. And so why not just trust and delay gratification? I'm not saying that it's a guarantee. There's nothing that's a guarantee, right? You can play the greatest match of your life, and for whatever reason, that guy just played better today, right? So, could you have changed it? Maybe so. Could you have taken more time during the match where this guy was playing out of his mind? Maybe. You could have, but maybe that wasn't top of mind for you, even though during the points you felt like, my God, I'm playing great. Uh-oh, the guy over there just hit 2 let cord winners in a row on huge points. You can't control that, right? So, yeah, Joe, you're right. It's at least a 6-month process. All this stuff is just an ongoing process. You never get to the end. It's like the internet. Do we ever get to the end of the internet? Not me. I don't think anyone does, right? So, just all I can tell you is you just got to keep working. Just got to keep working. And I don't, if you look at the word work as a negative thing, then I just think you're to drive yourself crazy in this sport. But if you look at it as keep working in terms of, well, what's the right process, right? And look, I mean, I've talked to you guys ad nauseum about what I do between points. I got a 4-part between points routine, between point system. A lot of guys know about it. I ask them, hey, I'm having problems with this. And I go, well, tell me what you're doing between points. And they list off something that has nothing to do with the next question. Well, I know you got the 4-part between point routine. Have you been working on it? Well, no, I keep forgetting about it. Okay. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. If you're not practicing it on a regular basis, it's never going to feel authentic in that match where you go, oh my God, I need that. I need to start doing something really different between points. Oh, that's right. Brent told me about the 4 parts between points routine. I watched the video one time. Now I need it. Let's see. Now what's it? So look, it's just one of those things that you got to practice. And I still practice this on a regular basis in practice points, practice sets, practice matches. It's just not like riding a bike. I mean, our emotions, there's so much stuff that can take over thinking wise between points. 80% of the match, 80% of the freaking match is not playing points. So, you know, you just gotta take care of that time. Joe, good to hear that you're working on the kitchen. That's huge. That's just huge. And look, I know a lot of these players. Joe, you're one of them who really is doing all the right stuff. All the right stuff in terms of, number one, you're passionate about becoming a better player, and you're willing to do the work to get there. And for some players, when they arrive at that decision, the kitchen's a big deal. It really is a big deal. And it's the first thing that if you get the kitchen right, meaning that you start eating the right stuff, you start not eating the wrong stuff, and you start doing some training in the gym, which is part of that's got to be cardio. Part of that's got to be good at getting a good lather, getting your heart rate up. And again, I say that conditioned upon if there's any issues with your heart, go talk to your doctor, right? Make sure that you get clearance there. But you know, and the other reality is we just cannot out gym work a lousy diet. Just can't do it. If the kitchen's poor, then I don't care how much work you do. I mean, you can do a little bit, make it a little bit better, but you're never going to get it to where there comes a time in a match where the only solution today in that match is you have to outlast this guy for whatever reason. Yesterday's match where your forehand and your backhand were working like, $1 million. Today, it just hasn't shown up. That's okay. That's just part of the deal. That's part of playing these tournaments. Part of playing a lot of league stuff is that whatever happened last time when you were great doesn't show up today. So maybe the tactical focus today is, all right, been working my ass off in the kitchen. Now I'm going to depend on the kitchen and the gym work I've been doing to carry me through. That is a tactical focus that you need to deploy from time to time. And I mean, I had a couple matches this year where the guy was playing great and he was playing better than I was. And I remember a match in the semis of the National Clay Courts, Virginia Beach, Virginia, last September. And I was trying everything I could in terms of moving the guy around and showing him different types of shots, showing him different spins, showing him different locations. And eventually the point we get work to where all of a sudden he goes, boom, well, there goes another winner. And so I just kind of came to the realization that, okay, today's match is going to be about, have I been doing the kitchen right? Have I been doing enough of the gym work right? And let's see how long we can keep this guy out here. And certainly it was the longest match of the tournament for me. But, it was 5-3, and the guy had set points in the first set. I got fortunate on one return, his first set point. And then he double faulted the second one, and I just outlasted that thing in the first set and then just held on for that second set. So that's a strategy. That's a tactical focus that from time to time you got to pull out of the toolbox. And you got to depend on it. If you've got the other 4 pillars in there, you got great stroke technique, right? Minimal. You got the mental part worked out. You got the tactical focus worked out. You've been playing lots of practice sets, but you're still dragging around some extra poundage. Okay, that's on you. That's such a controllable that if that's what you're doing, then I don't think you're fully into it. I just don't. And so, and look, if you still got some weight to shed and you're working like a dog, love it. Love it. Just keep going. Just keep going. Make it a lifestyle, right? It's not about losing weight one time and then kind of holding on for dear life with a diet. It becomes a lifestyle. It becomes for the rest of your life that, man, you are living large because you feel great. You got this healthy diet. You got this healthy body. And the focus physically and mentally is so good, everything changes. Now, all of a sudden, you become a player that you never, ever thought you could play at that level. So, like I said in the beginning, a little tough love from time to time. Look, guys, if you want some help with the kitchen, if you want some help with The off-court stuff, shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. I'll let you know what I'm doing. I am putting a little program together. I've been saying that for a week. I know I got my plate's full, man. My plate is full right now. Yeah. So, okay. Brent@webtennis.com if you got any questions, or you can drop something down there in the comments area, or the chat area, whatever works best for you. All right, guys, look, if you love this stuff, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you that you hit that notification bell so you're always alerted anytime I go live and or upload pre-recorded instruction. And so here's the thing that made the big difference for me this year, into 2022 and into 2023, 9 national titles in singles and doubles in 15 months. I'm telling you, it's the difference maker. And these are the simplest habits to form, but you have to do them on a daily basis. The information, the stuff that maybe 7 minutes a day. I don't know. I think we all got 7 minutes in there. So the challenge is, can you do this every day? Can you put it into your phone and have an alert go off in the morning and to remind you to do the thing, which are the habits building, and then one in the evening, do the thing, take 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and do it. And then can you do the habits on the court? There are a couple habits, out of the 5, there's a couple on the court. And if you can take a piece of paper, put it in your pocket as reminders to do these habits, things change. They sure did for me. So look, if you've not taken a look at this course I've got for you, the 5 Mindset Skills Habit Training course, 28 days, I invite you to do so. Right down below in the description area, there's a link that will take you over to webtennis.com, SLR 5 habits, I should say / SLR 5 habits. And I want you to pick up that course. Got an insane guarantee in there. There's no risk for you at all. And in fact, I talk a lot about process, but I do have a results guarantee in there. You're going to get that. You're going to get that first win over that guy that you never had before within a certain time frame. So it really is the difference between the practice and the real match, which is controlling stress. And once you do that, once you learn how to do that, things change, man. So, all right, that's it for me today, guys. Hope this has been helpful today. Again, let me know if you have any questions or any feedback. And it's time. We have to get out there today. Got to help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. See you again next time.